Why didn't I go take my shoes off and stand on the field? Am I getting carried away?
Oh, no. No, not at all. Not at all.
The San Gabriel Mountains off in the distance.
When I watch the Rose Bowl,
missed opportunity.
I find myself looking at the horizon as much as I do the game. The shots above the stadium, particularly if they have a field-level shot, I find myself looking at all the background. It's just see, I think they ought to play the national championship game there every year. If we're going to have a playoff, let's not move this. Let's not move the title game around. Let's put it at the Rose Bowl. If it's going to be the granddaddy of them all, let's make it the granddaddy of them all again.
There's no setting like it.
No.
There's nothing
well,
like it.
I say no. I've never been.
I go to all. This is the 6th year doing these. You've seen it on TV.
Hey.
You've seen it's what you think. Exactly what you think.
Chuck's taking subtle shots.
Bo's going to walk in here on just a random April morning. Hey, man, did I tell you I went to the Rose Bowl?
Yeah. Well, it did make me think. It actually made me it caused me, maybe it's the time of the year too, I don't know. It caused me to reflect a little bit. And I was thinking, I was honestly thinking this. Like, I wanted you guys to be there. I wanted Ty, my son, to be there. He was supposed to go, and then some things didn't work out, and he ended up not going. And I felt bad about that. Not for long. I just kind of moved on, but I did. But I was thinking, as a show, we should go experience things that we've always wanted to experience if we can. Like, go to Fenway, just to go to Fenway. And we'll do a show there, go to the Rose Bowl just to experience it, do a show there.
I was thinking that last night.
Like, we should pick,
I swear, I really was.
4 or 5 things to do over a 2-year span, and then take people vicariously with us if we can.
So what Bo's saying is next Friday, we're in Dallas, baby.
Yeah.
We're going to do the show in Dallas.
I'll be – and what's different about the Rose Bowl is, and I don't know if anybody cares about this, so I don't know if we're boring the heck out of you. I'm sorry.
I just don't really care.
but the, like, going to AT&T Stadium or going to State Farm Stadium in Phoenix or LA SoFi, I've been to these places for games, for these big playoff games, and it's cool, and those NFL venues are amazing. But it doesn't feel like the Rose Bowl is college football. It sums up everything. We're college football people on this show. I think by and large our state is a college football. Yeah, we like NFL and other things, whatever. But we have this like passion that it gets us excited when we're talking about college football in a big game at Razorback Stadium, for example. And it's the pageantry. It's all of the things that come with it that don't really happen in the professionalized NFL. And that environment, every piece of it is completely on display in that setting of the Rose Bowl. And so
it's larger than life.
Of playing the national championship game there every year. And you know what's sad? Like, before, like the Pac-12 and the Big Ten, those were the only nobody else gets to play in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
All the SEC, I mean,
UCLA plays there, don't they?
Yeah, every home game.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, but for Arkansas, for example, like they went and played in Madison Square Garden in basketball. And Chuck called the game. We talked about how cool that was, but for Arkansas fans or for Arkansas as a football program, to once every 3 or 4 or 5 years get to go play in the Rose Bowl would just be incredible. I mean, how do you you'd have to like schedule a game against UCLA, but every college football player, like at a high level, if you could get to the national championship game and it was there, like that just adds to the stuff you dream of.
I like the fact that in baseball, there's the common goal to go to Omaha. There's nothing special about, why Omaha? I mean, it's just literally right in the middle of America.
It's so great.
But it's one of the great sports experiences that you'll ever go through.
Great.
And it's because the city has adopted it.
Same kind of setup at the Rose Bowl.
And that's one of the reasons that I think the Rose Bowl would be a good permanent site for the national championship game. You've got to have the infrastructure, but more than anything else, you've got to have people that really care. I know a lot of people, for example, want the SEC baseball tournament to move away from Hoover and start bouncing around. The reason it's not is because those people really care about it in the same way that it sounds like the people in the greater Pasadena area care about that stadium. And the way the people in Omaha cared about Rosenblatt, and now the downtown stadium. So those things are important. I don't know if we'll ever see anything like that happen. I doubt it. But I think it would be fitting because, hey, when you look at the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day, you know you're watching a bowl game. I mean, there's no doubt you are watching a bowl game. And they're not going to do it, and they don't care what I think. But I think I think it'd be a good spot.
I do think that we've lost, and we sound like a couple of old guys. We've lost some of the traditional elements that made college football great. And you're talking about part of it there, where when you can create an event that a whole town rallies around, or a whole area rallies around, like they can have the Rose Bowl parade. And that's, people go there from all over the world just to go to the parade. They don't even go to the game. And how do we create, and this is what you try to do for home games, like every game's an event. But creating this event is so much more than just having an attractive game. All of the ushers, all of the security, all of the management, all of the grounds crew, all of the people around the stadium, inside and out, are all in. Like, this is our event, and it's so great. And sometimes we talk about this on the show, like, whatever the game is, that's the game, that's the setting, that's the moment. Like, you can poo-poo the Liberty Bowl, or you can go have an amazing, fun experience because you are part of the experience. But when everyone's on that same page, that's when you get these amazing events like the College World Series.
There's a couple of bowl games over the years that Arkansas has gone to that the people that put on the bowl are on the same page.
Cotton Bowl's an example.
Cotton Bowl's an example. Guys, the Liberty Bowl's an example.
It seemed so exciting and fun.
Well, here's the thing.
Just the ambiance.
Well,
the environment.
Look, if you're a rabid fan of a team and the Liberty Bowl is your ultimate final destination, you're not going to be real happy with the way the season went. If you're one of these people, you either win the championship or you're no good. You're not going to get excited about that game. But here's why it does well. And the bowl games that do this will always survive. They will always survive. It is a town event in a city. There's a parade. And now, look, if you were going to ask me before I went to Memphis, you going to go to the Liberty Bowl parade? It's like, probably not. But there are thousands of people that go. It's amazing. They have a pep rally before the game, and fans are actually there. And the ABC affiliate in Memphis preempts their afternoon programming to show the parade on TV. Just like it's a New Year's Day game. And now, is the Liberty Bowl on the same level as the Rose Bowl? Well, of course not. But it's that type of local commitment that makes it work. These bowl games, a lot of people think these bowl games, the smaller ones, won't survive. They will survive. The ones that Shreveport's a great example. I mean, they've been throwing dirt on that bowl for 25 years, and it's still alive and kicking. And it's big. Like it is barely. I mean, it's on life support,
but dirt, kicking through the dirt.
But the point is they have local support, and with the TV money now, you get one or two local sponsors that are good ones, like AutoZone in Memphis, FedEx. They get those two guys on board with the ESPN television money, they'll be around as long as they want to be.
Yeah, well, they've done a great job of creating an environment that makes
But
it
the
fun.
Rose Bowl does it on a much larger scale.
And they've done it since 1905 or whatever.
They've done it a long time. They know what they're doing.
Hey, walking around like where they park all the TV trucks and like just the compound. I mean, I thought I was walking around a studio set. Like a LA, like a Hollywood studio. I mean, it was pristine. I just couldn't believe it. You could have sat down on the ground and ate a 5-star meal and felt like you were in a cool place. By the way, I've been getting just blown up for, I don't know, the better part of 24 hours. Apparently, you just ripped the hell out of me while I was gone.
I didn't really rip you.
I just didn't want to get up, acted like I had an early flight, made up stories about why.
What I said was,
and
I said I've played this game before.
I put a rose in my mouth and went to sleep.
I've played this game before. I've played the early flight game before, where I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I got an early flight. I will say this, and I've been in that position before. It's hard because I was kind of describing what happens when you're trying to get an early flight and you're doing the show. You take a 3-minute shower in one commercial break. You shave in the next break.
Yeah.
You get dressed in the next break.
Yeah.
And over the course of a 2 or 3 hour program, packing and all this stuff during commercial breaks, you're ready to go when the show's over. But you're harried, so to speak.
Yeah, well, I used to have all the energy and effort that you just described, but that's over.
Sometimes I have to do that still.
It was like a 14-hour day, and then you lose 2 hours. I woke up at 6 a.m. yesterday, and I was like, man, I could probably just hop on the show. And then I realized it was 8 o'clock here. And I was just waking up.
We were done.
And I was like, yeah, they're fine. Clay's probably on. Oh, and then I got the group text that Clay was on, too. Mm-hmm. And then some other thing about how something wasn't going right. I kind of made some of that crappy hotel room coffee and got on with it. Got to the airport.
So is the SEC the best conference or not?
Oh, my gosh. Let's talk about it next. No, the Big Ten is, clearly.
No, that is insane.
Clearly. We're going to talk about it next.
The SEC's not as dominant, but it's still the best conference.
Nope.
All right.
No, I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to talk about this. We're going to have to talk about what's happened. 877-377-6963. We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank, Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric, Fayetteville Auto Park. Chuck's got his headphones on.
I'm ready to go to the break. I'm ready to get into this.
Flight by Yingling and Weichert Realtors.
I know it's nice at the Rose Bowl. Jeez.
6:18 as the sun sets on the San Gabriel Mountains. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations, Coach. I made some good calls today. You sure did. You sure did.
The final days of Chevy's Red Tag event have arrived at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Last chance for up to $16,000 total savings on new 2024 Silverados. Final days for up to $11,000 in total savings on new 2024 Suburbans and Tahoes at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 1/2/25.
Hey Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey alongside my man, Matt Zimmer.
And it's a great time to be a Razorback.
Embrace the ho!
Whether it's a touchdown, a slam dunk, or a grand slam.
Big Susie, they were doing all the stuff. I went in there to get something to eat, and they're cheering. I'm like, what is going on here?
We're here with the excitement and insight you crave.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now,
It's the Razorback Daily from the team at Sport and Story.
That might be our best episode ever.
Available wherever you listen to your podcast each morning.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Pascal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit restrictions.
I'm just proud of our players. They decided to play in this game, and they played really well. They wanted to send a statement to a lot of people. They felt left out of something and disrespected, and so I think they showed today against a really good team, a 9-win ACC team that I think was the best defense supposedly in the ACC. So they made us.
I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what odd time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I knew I had to show up because after Chuck does a game, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't feel like there's a world where Chuck is not showing up and also lets us know.
That's true. If I don't show up, you need to try to contact me because there's an issue.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know, like when you've got the star power, but when they play up to that level in a game like this, I mean, that you can beat anybody when you guys are playing that way, right?
That's competitive greatness is being at your best when your best is needed, and we knew we had it. You know, we just beat the number one team in the country by a lot of points. So credit to those players. They were awesome.
That's Chip Kelly. I'll just tell you now, and I don't mean to be prisoner of the moment here, but I thought this after Ohio State drummed Tennessee to open the playoff. They played like that against Oregon. This team's on a mission, and Urban Meyer said during an in-game interview at the Rose Bowl, that's the most talented, deepest team he has seen in his career. Ohio State is loaded, and they are playing like it. And I haven't seen anybody that looks like they're on that level in the 2 games Ohio State has played in the playoff. Will they remain at that level the rest of the playoff? I don't know. But what we know is the SEC's not going to win the national championship.
I feel pretty sure you're right on that. I can't see anybody beating Ohio State if they play the way they played the last 2 weeks. I just can't. Now, in my mind, I also think this is the same team that lost to Michigan. But I think as crazy as it sounds.
It's the best thing that happened to
Well,
them.
I think as crazy as it sounds, if they make the national championship game, and I think they will, they'll play looser in that game than they did against Michigan. They've played loose 2 straight games in the playoff. But for whatever reason, in that Michigan game, they go so tight. I've obviously not been in Columbus on game week when they play Michigan, but the pucker factor's got to be pretty serious because for whatever reason, they get to that game and they just lay an egg. Sterling called yesterday while you were gone. He had an interesting take. He said, I know why those people get mad at him and want to fire him. He should have never lost a game with these guys. It's the best team he's ever seen. And
they're so good.
They're going to rip Texas a new one unless Ohio State has a bad game.
I just haven't seen anybody play like they've got it all. They don't have a weakness. I don't know how they didn't play better. I mean, you described it well against Michigan, but I'll say this, it's the best thing that happened to them because if they win that game, they got to go play an extra game.
Yeah.
On top of these, the Big Ten championship, you probably play Oregon again. It didn't do them any good to beat Michigan.
if they're going to keep conference championship games, and I know this is a different subject, but if you're going to keep conference championship games, it really makes that first round of the playoff even more of a penalty. Because, I think part of the issue with Texas right now is in that Clemson game, they lost their right tackle. He's out, and their center's hobbled up. And you hobble up a center and remove a right tackle from any team's offensive line, and it's going to affect them. And I think it's affecting Texas. So you factor in that championship game for a conference championship game and a first-round NCAA game. By the time you get to that semifinal round, if you're one of those teams that's had to go through that gauntlet, this is not basketball. In basketball, when we talk about a team getting a bye or having to play an extra game in a tournament setting, it's all about stamina. It's very seldom do you ever see a star or even a starter be injured during the course of a run through a tournament. It happens, but it's the exception rather than the rule. They're going to have to do something. I think that there's one too many games being played for some of these teams. And the elimination's either going to have to come by turning 12 into 8, which they won't do, or eliminating some of these conference championship games. Attrition's too great.
General Ben, what's on your minds? Chuck and Bo, good morning.
Okay. Y'all already said it. I told your screener I wanted to talk about how I don't think we're going to have, I don't even believe we're going to have a team in the championship game, an SEC team. And so I've kind of wondered, I don't know how many years in a row that's been that the SEC's always had a team in the championship game. I think it's been quite a few years straight that we've always had a team in the hunt there during the national championship game. But I just see it the same way y'all do. As I was going to say, I don't believe anybody is there going to be.
Well, they didn't. Wasn't it Washington and Michigan last year in the championship game? I mean, you're going probably back-to-back years. I mean, look, there's been a few. There's been a few,
but not many. The point's well made, though. I mean, there have not been very many over the last 15, 18 years.
Here's the thing about the SEC that we usually argue, and I'll ask you guys if you think it's true of this year. And Ben, thanks for the point. The depth of the SEC is what makes it challenging. So maybe other teams or other conferences have a better team or two at the very top. Michigan last year would be an example of that. But was the depth of the Big Ten there? Now I'm looking at the Big Ten this year, and I'm thinking Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Illinois beat South Carolina in the bowl game. Anybody else in the Big Ten that I'm not thinking of that is kind of played at a higher level this year? By the way, does anybody want to talk about the job Bielema's gotten done at Illinois?
Well, he's good at making Shane Beamer mad.
Well, that was true Brett Bielema.
Oh, that was just
bravado.
Brett being Brett.
Bravado.
Right there.
Bravado Brett.
Here's the thing about the SEC. Just because you don't have a team that's going to win the national championship does not mean top to bottom you're not still the best conference. You can't out of one side of your mouth say Indiana would have never gone 11-1 in the SEC and then say, but the SEC is not the best conference anymore. If the Big Ten's the best conference, then Indiana would have been better at 11-1.
Well, Indiana, and this is true of maybe Texas too. How many really good teams did Indiana play out of the Big Ten, and how many did Texas play out of the SEC?
And that's the other thing too. You don't really get a good. I mean, to say that Texas was the true SEC champion, I don't know that you can actually say that because there were so many teams they didn't play, and the leagues are so big now. That it becomes subjective even at the end. The SEC is still the best conference. It just doesn't have a dominant one or two teams the way that it has in the past. And I do think the transfer portal and NIL, a player that might be at Alabama as a second stringer can get paid to go be a first stringer at South Carolina or can get paid to go be a first stringer somewhere else. Your traditional powers aren't going to stockpile players the way they once did. The league's cannibalized itself in a lot of ways, and the Big Ten has too. I'll say this, though. Penn State's had a pretty easy route in the playoffs. I'm not sold on Penn State yet. I mean, they've beaten SMU and Boise State. Nothing against SMU and Boise State, but they're a far cry from what's left in the playoff.
Brought to you in part by First Security Bank. Bank better. Convenient locations, all in on Arkansas, all in on convenience for you. First Security Bank, fsbank.com, the official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show. First Security Bank, member FDIC. It's 877-377-6963, 631. What is today? Is it the 3rd?
It is the 3rd.
Holy
It's
cow.
the 3rd day of the new year.
Is it Friday?
It's Friday.
Friday, December 3rd, with temperature, anybody?
January 3rd.
Did I say December?
Yeah, you did.
It's Friday.
It's Friday, November
Tuesday.
3rd. I'm trying to go back. I need to catch up. I got some catching up to do.
Yeah.
Can we push it back like 2 months? And then maybe I can. 25 has run off without me already.
Boy, that's the truth.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's a pretty good way to put
It's
it.
the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one razorback. Not even one.
The holidays are all about making moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you find a gift as special as the people you love. From sparkling diamonds to classic watches and colorful gemstones, we have something for everyone on your list. Stop by Blakeman's and Rogers and let us help you make this holiday one to remember. Because at Blakeman's, it's more than jewelry. It's your story. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
We bring in players. They didn't grow up with a woo victory. They don't bleed hog red. They bleed money.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Do you need free legal advice? Listen to Coffee with Counsel with Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull on the Hit That Line podcast network.
Kevin, I don't think you've had a chance to read the police report yet, so I'll quiz you. What do you think? What would be your guess of the charge that led to Scotty Scheffler getting arrested under those facts?
Well, assault would probably have to be one of them.
That's right. Assault, second degree.
For more information, go to hickeyandhull.com.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas, I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cabe, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Hey, Todd Richardson here at First Financial Mortgage, my mortgage lender, Ethan Adamson. Ethan, congratulations, over 300 5-star reviews.
Yeah, Todd, we pride ourselves on delivering a 5-star service during the entire mortgage process.
What sets you apart from everyone else?
I think communication, how quickly we work, we get you closed on time or early. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
It's National Absurdity Day.
I plan on celebrating.
Well, I think we already have.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Morning.
Hey, if 2025 is bringing changes, if you're going to be buying or selling a home, let me recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, to you. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978. And, you know, sometimes your situation at work requires you to move. Sometimes your personal situation requires you to downsize or upsize. And whatever your situation, I can tell you from my experiences with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, you're going to find someone, their agents, they're going to meet you right where you are. And they're going to understand your situation, and they're going to take it to heart, and they're going to work for you. It's what a real estate agent does. Not someone that does it on the side, not someone that's paying for their summer vacation, but someone that does it every single day. That's what I can tell you about my experience. They were pros every step of the way, and at the end of the day, we got from contract to close, and that's what it's all about. When you're involved in a real estate transaction. They've got a wide selection of homes all over the area, Washington and Benton counties, Fort Smith, Branson, and you can check them out at WeicherGriffin.com.
Caleb's in Mountain Home. Caleb, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Morning. How are y'all?
Doing great.
Caleb.
So the reason, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, hey.
He was just exuberant about you calling.
Okay. Sorry. I wanted to call in, and y'all, I just had a thought here. I was talking about with my dad last night that I wanted to express. You know, yesterday we watched the Notre Dame Georgia game, and I think Georgia was about the only team I was kind of rooting for in the playoffs. I really don't have a problem with them. But at the same time, after they lost, my dad and I were sitting there talking all about it, and in an ironic twist of fate, even though I don't like anybody that's in the playoffs anymore, I'm almost kind of an SEC cynic at this point. Like, as an Arkansas fan, I've always felt like we've either been near the bottom or near the middle. And even whenever we do really well, we just get vastly overshadowed by these SEC giants. And let me let me kind of explain myself and, like, how I feel about this. And the best way I can say it is, y'all have that friend that hates the government, hates the federal government. He loves the United States of America, will always stand for the flag, knows everything about the Constitution, but at the same time, he just hates the bureaucracy.
Okay.
That's my attitude towards the SEC. I like the SEC a lot. It has a great program. I think a lot of the times it has the best teams in the nation. But whenever it comes to our scheduling, conference scheduling that is, whenever it comes to just how it feels whenever we have to go against these giants of teams, it always feels like Arkansas is the underdog. Now, I know all of that is the SEC's fault. But at the same time, last night, whenever we were watching kind of the downfall of some of these huge teams, as an Arkansas fan, I'm wondering, it's like, it kind of makes you wonder if maybe the playing field is more level next year. For years when we've gone our schedule, it's like, well, we're going to lose that game, that game, that game. And that's why I'm kind of supporting your whole 9-3 run now, Bo, because there's no real dominant team anymore in the SEC. There are really good teams. There are teams that can shock you every week, but there's no Nick Saban Alabama that can just tear you down, or Kirby Smart's Georgia in 21-22 that can just run right through you.
Well, I think you're onto something there, Charlie. Or Caleb. Thanks for the call. And for the record, actually, whatever. Let's just go with it. I'll be 9-3. That's fine. I mean, I thought it was kind of a joke. Like I don't even know who the roster really.
That's way too serious to joke about, Bo.
But I'll just roll with it, and nobody can take it from me. I called it. You can't claim it. It's mine. It's all mine. I got 9-3. Y'all can pick any other record you want for next year. The whole fan base, but nobody can have that. That one's, and I know everybody's clamoring.
Property
they want
of
it.
Bo.
But I've trademarked it. I've got that one filed away. Licensed, done.
Run with it.
But he does have a great point. Alabama, when you go back and look at years that Arkansas has been good in the SEC, Alabama generally hasn't been in those years. They haven't been the team that they became under Nick Saban. Georgia, we're finding some holes in what looked like it was going to be the next dominant program in this league. Now, I'm not saying these aren't great programs, but they're not dominant like they have been in years past. I don't think Texas is dominant, and that helps a little bit. Now, I don't know if it's going to help enough, but the domination of 2 or 3 teams at times in this league, LSU has been as loaded as Ohio State appears to be at the moment and played like that. But then there's been a bunch of years where they haven't been that. And you do need some of these teams to come back to the pack a little bit for you to get to 8 or 9 wins. So that does open the door to an extent.
I understand why people would feel that way. I do. Now, I think Arkansas and other teams in the SEC have got to get significantly better before they are, playoff-type teams. But I think they all know that. And many of them, and I think Arkansas is one of these teams. They've closed the gap. See, I just think you've got to look at it on a case-by-case basis, though. I mean, look, if Georgia's got Carson Beck last night, I don't think the fact that they were playing with a backup quarterback was talked about enough. They were so limited offensively. I mean, those were not 2 good offensive teams. I mean, Riley Leonard throws for 90 yards, and people act like he's, Peyton Manning.
He ran for 80, for 90. But here's the thing, Chuck. Like, they lost the game in other ways.
Oh, I understand that.
Like that kid threw for 230 yards, and I thought he had a good arm and had a pretty good game.
Well, according to ESPN, it was the kid on the sidelines who didn't even play that, ruined the whole season for Georgia. I mean, my God, did they pile on that kid over the course of the night.
And here's the thing. He wasn't way out of where he should be, and he's excited. Just like if you're a head coach, here's what happens.
That happens on every big
yelling,
play.
Yeah, you're yelling at this guy. He probably didn't even get to ride the bus home. But, if you're also yelling if these guys are standing on the sideline and they're not into the game.
Well,
I mean, give the kid a break. He's excited. He's cheering.
On every sideline, you have what's called the get-back coach. That's his job, is to get everybody back.
Usually the strength coach.
Usually the strength coach is the get-back coach. And but on a play like that, everybody's running down the sidelines. And, yes, it was a penalty. I mean, it was. But by the same token, I mean, you were talking about quarterback play. That's not the sole reason Georgia lost. And the fact that kid got that penalty is not the reason they got beat either.
Well, they gave up a 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Yeah,
that'll get you beat in most games. Mm-hmm. And then they couldn't convert on 3rd and 4th down in the red zone and decided not to kick field goals.
Right.
And that play at the end of the first half, that's a football play, it happens, but they were trying to be aggressive in their own end. And you see coaches managing this all the time. Don't be too aggressive at the end of the first half on your own end because something bad can happen. So don't let that happen. Well, it did. Notre Dame scored, and then they returned the opening kickoff of the second half. Game over. Basically game over right there. And then when Georgia did have chances down the stretch, if they kick field goals, if they get 6 points, maybe you're looking at a different thing at the end. And then Marcus Freeman just absolutely pulled out a gem of a trick play, basically, with the special teams move of send the punting team out, have them run all the way. Yeah, have them run all the way off the field, get your offense on the field, and get Georgia to jump off sides and basically end the game. So they lost in a lot of ways besides the backup quarterback. And I feel like that's been Georgia to an extent this year. Like they just haven't been the same. Like everybody at Alabama will point to every mistake that's made and say that would not have happened under Saban. Georgia made sort of uncharacteristic mistakes as well, and they just haven't been that team this year.
Generally speaking, when a team is playing without its starting quarterback, they're not going to be as good in other areas either, because it affects your entire psyche as a team.
I don't disagree.
It affects everything you do, every move you make. That's why I think that had Carson Beck played last night, I'm not saying Georgia would have won. I'm not saying that.
But it's a factor.
But it's a big factor, no question.
Got to take a break. More of your calls coming up at 6:46 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've been waiting to say this for 5 years. Sterling in Center Ridge.
This is quite the coup that they have put together. Bo and Chuck, this is a dream team.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Scion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Just thinking, what is a Pirates' favorite college football team?
Say it, Bar.
Arkansas.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics. 16 years in the industry. Cecil, this is the one-stop shop.
Yes, Jazzco Graphics Design, the one-stop shop, 2415 Midland, for your customer buck order.
Why ESPN 95.3?
I really enjoy listening in, and it keeps my day going while I'm at work. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
So if I get offended right there, do you get offended at me for being offended?
No, I don't get offended at you for being offended, but I do think there's an issue with you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, Heath is on the line. He's normally in Cabot. My notes say he's traveling in Illinois. Is that the story this morning, Heath? Welcome to the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Yes, sir. In Illinois, visiting the in-laws. Love it as always.
Visiting the in-laws up early, calling the show.
He's out sitting in his car right
looking
now,
for a
trying to
moment
get
of
away
sanity.
from everything.
Welcome. We're here for you.
Look, I'm always in the gym around this time, so I'm running a little late.
Yeah,
but,
attaboy.
After that big win last night, I decided to sleep in a little this morning. You know, I love it. I'm really hoping that Texas beats Ohio State so the Irish can get 2 wins against SEC teams this year because they'll beat Texas. I don't know about beating Ohio State. That'll be a tough win. But look, you know what? I hear all these fans all across college football. Look, the only ones that are complaining are the ones that their teams didn't get in. Listen, I've always said this. You got to get there to win or lose. And some teams, they just will never know. They just will never know. And let me tell you something else. I hear you, Chuck. I hear you. If Carson Beck would have played last night, kid would have got sacked more than groceries. I think it would have been worse for
Wait. Notre Dame wins its first major bowl game in like 25 years. And you guys are walking around this morning like you just are the lords of college football. I mean, give me a break. You beat a backup quarterback. Your season's going to end the next time out.
Chuck, who's your team, Chuck? Tell me your team.
The Razorbacks.
Team,
hey, you know it's
okay. Hey, when the last time they won a playoff game, bro? That's all I'm saying,
it's
man.
the first year.
You got to get there to win or lose, and I'm telling you, a lot of teams. Not only that, hey, Notre Dame got a $14 million paycheck last night.
Well, that's great.
They don't have to share it with anybody. Nobody, because they're independent. How about
Golly.
that?
You know, I've gotten to the
thanks,
point,
man.
Heath, enjoy your workout and the spoils of victory. I just like old Brian at Ozark, Heath has reminded us why we can't stand Notre Dame.
Exactly. I thought Bart was bad.
I had kind of gotten over it.
I haven't said anything today.
Oh, but you've been smug in your silence.
I'd kind of gotten over it used to be whoever your team was and you rooted against Notre Dame. Anybody playing Notre Dame. You liked your team and anybody playing Notre Dame. maybe we're coming back to that.
I want
But
to
they've
talk
been
about
so
this in the
irrelevant
next hour. There's
so
not
long.
any of these teams left that I even like for a moment. I've rooted against them every time they played forever.
I'm like, who are you going to root for?
Exactly.
Who's left to root for? Who are the good guys?
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweating 'em Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatingthemcosmetic.com and click on the Sweating 'em Edge.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
There's nothing like a college football Saturday, a few beers, your phone, and Twitter.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our highs in the mid-40s north, low 50s south. We will see just a few passing clouds overhead tonight. And overnight low, upper 20s to low 30s. Partly to mostly cloudy sky on Saturday. Highs will be in the low to mid-40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Ty Richardson for American Patriot Promotions. They have their Mina Gun Show coming up Saturday, February 1st and Sunday, February the 2nd. The American Patriot Promotions Mina Gun Show is located at the Polk County Fairgrounds in Mina. Tickets are just $10 per person and only $8 for veterans, military, police, and first responders. For more information on this event, go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com. American Patriot Promotions is the best avenue for outstanding gun shows.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Tommy, on this one, do you feel? Let me ask you this.
Normal around here.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward. Sharp Equipment, your Wacker Newson dealer.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I've got a photo of me, Jalen Williams, and Connor Vanover. It looks photoshopped. You know, I thought it was funny at first, but then people thought it was funny for reasons that I didn't think it was funny. And I was like, why did I take the photo? You expect people to chuckle, and instead they dig in.
It becomes a self-own. It becomes a self-own is what it boils down to.
It's like when you go to apologize, you're like, sweetheart, I am sorry. And then it's like, here comes the wave again.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you
Bo.
believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball-playing guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Tell us a Rose Bowl story, Bo.
Oh, it was everything I thought it might be and more.
I didn't even get that out. He's like rolling over here.
I found this from Keith Jackson. Just listen to this. The great Keith Jackson from years ago.
And a happy new year to you from all of us. This has been one of the hottest tickets in the history of the Rose Bowl.
The place talks. It talks to you. And if you don't believe it, if you ever have a chance, somewhere in this maze of seats, sit down. No conversation, just you. And just sit there and listen. Fill it with 100,000 people with a Rose Bowl victory tucked away in your life. And see if you don't hear something.
That's Keith Jackson.
I know that's ABC produced because the music was too loud. You couldn't hear him talk. So, I mean, that's kind of their MO.
I knew you were going to say that.
It drives me insane.
I knew you were going to say that.
But, no, that is.
So the stadium split pretty much. Ohio State on one side and Oregon on the other. And they already have the trophy presentation like planned, the setup. And they have it facing the press box side, which was the Oregon side, which was empty at the end of the game. The Ohio State side was packed, and they were all behind the stage. They couldn't see, unless they watched it on the video board, the trophy presentation. There's some irony in that. Who are you rooting for now in the playoff? Anybody? Who are the good guys?
I don't know who they are.
Are there any good guys to root for? Do you like anybody?
I've never rooted for Texas. I've never rooted for Ohio State. I've never rooted for Penn State. And I've never rooted for Notre Dame. Whoever they're playing, I'm for the other team. I pull for Michigan over Ohio State.
You gonna watch?
Yeah, I'm going to watch. But I don't know I don't know what to do. I mean, I really don't. I mean, these are four fan bases that on any given Saturday act like they invented the game. Now, I will say this. I mean, Notre Dame's a national team.
International. They're
International.
global.
Fair
They're
enough.
global.
But Ohio State's got the best fan base of what's left.
Oh.
I think.
Okay, before we go to the phones.
Yeah, take that.
So as soon as the gates open, Ohio State fans come in. There's probably 200 or 300 crowded around the tunnel when Ohio State arrives and walks on the field. And here's what was just sort of surreal to me is fans yelling to Ryan Day, like as it gets quiet, "We love you, coach," because he's been under such fire. This guy's I think, got the best team in the playoff. I think they're going to win it all. And for the last 3 weeks, they've been trying to run him out of town in Columbus while this is going on. And I'm at the airport talking to some Ohio State fan. So, yeah, so can't, like, that Michigan game still sucks. I go, dude, you're going to win the national championship.
They hate Kirk Herbstreit. And he's like, one of their favorite sons. I mean, he was a quarterback on some of their on good teams for him, and they ran him out of town.
Oh, he had to move to Nashville.
They're the most rabid people on earth.
Eddie's in Clarksville. Eddie, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. And as I was watching the game last night, how would Georgia like to have Taylor Green back there taking snaps? A playmaker, And so it came down to me with quarterback play. I'll tell you something else. If Notre Dame wins the national championship, it's old school football. They don't wow you with offense, but they play great defense. And that's how old school. Even Alabama, under Coach Saban in the early years, and you talk about Coach Bear Bryant, they won with defense. They didn't wow you with offense. So I don't know who's going to win it. But I want to get to my basketball.
It's going to be like a 10-7, game, Penn State, Notre Dame.
Ooh,
it's going to be a couple of defenses just slugging it out.
That's party.
Big old school Big Ten. Sorry, Eddie. Go ahead.
I want to get to my basketball hawk train, and I'll give history lessons.
Number one team in the country on Saturday.
That's exactly right. But when you spell winning big games, we have a legacy, a tradition of hitting big, iconic shots to beat big-time programs. I want you to send it before they step out on that court tomorrow at Pat Pavilion in Knoxville, Tennessee, when the Hawk Train coming with a history of tradition. Let me who will hit the shot if it's a close game. I'll tell you this. You go back from 1978. I've got to see it all. To 1981 under Coach Sutton. Listen to these stats. We were 102 and 25. A Final Four, an Elite Eight, a Sweet 16, 3 Southwest Conference championships. That's where it all started. And then you go on, you pass it to Nolan Richardson. I could have made an argument from 1989 to 1995. We were the best basketball program on the planet. Listen to these stats. 3 Final Fours. Woo! A national championship. Almost won 2 back-to-back. A national championship runner-up. And then we go through a period with Stan Heath and Coach Pelfrey and Mike Anderson. It was so-so. But then, you bring in Coach Musselman, and he kind of recaptured some of that magic, some of that, that legacy to Elite Eights. But now I believe we got a coach. It starts tomorrow at Knoxville, Tennessee, baby. And I just hope these young players take it to them. And who will hit the shot if it's a close game? Thank you for taking my call, gentlemen. That whistle, woo! It's starting to get blowing because I believe we got the coach to recapture that who we are as a program. And I tell you that, it starts tomorrow in Knoxville, Tennessee, baby.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thanks for taking my call.
Number one team in the country. Tennessee is 13-0. All of their wins have come by 13 or more points except for one game. They are beating teams by double digits every night out, every day out. You're going to go into their place I don't know if Arkansas is at full strength. I do not expect Arkansas to win this game. I think it'll be a good game. I think they'll play well. Tennessee's really good defensively. Arkansas is pretty good defensively. Tennessee leads the country in a lot of defensive categories. But this is that's a tough opener in SEC play.
I think it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being there. I know Thompson Bowling's going to be full.
They're going to set the scene.
It's going to be a great atmosphere. But guys, Arkansas's got big time players now. This is, and I say this respectfully, this is not, one of Muss's teams in terms of talent. Muss had good teams. I'm not belittling them at all, but I'm saying that I don't think Boogie Flan's going to be awed by the moment for one single second.
No.
Thero, Big Z, Wagner, they've played against Tennessee as members of Kentucky, and that's a rivalry game. Tennessee and Kentucky in basketball is a real rivalry game. They've played there before. They're not going to be wowed by the moment. Here's one thing that I think is interesting, and we've not experienced this before in a long time. When the Razorbacks had it rolling back in the day when Nolan was piloting the ship, Nolan Richardson being in the building was the story. The Razorbacks would come in, but Nolan was the one that was the magnet. When you'd go to Texas or these other buildings in the Southwest Conference, their opposing fans came to get on Nolan. They were going to get on Nolan.
The face of the brand.
Exactly. And we've not experienced that with Calipari. Kentucky's been through it, and we know how we were. When Kentucky would come in here, the most fun part was yelling at Calipari. Now he's our guy. And so, but if these other buildings, they're still going to get on him the same way they did when he was at Kentucky. So there's just going to be a difference, I think, maybe in the overall, the way that it, is viewed or seems. But I think ultimately you're going to have 10 great players out there at a time, and I think it's going to be a great game.
You're giving hope, which Arkansas definitely has in the game. I just think you also got to realize that there are teams in this league that have rosters that match or are superior to Arkansas.
No question.
And that's what's going to make this maybe a 500 type campaign. You win half your games, and you've had a great season in the SEC.
Joe Lunardi has, going into conference play, his final bracketology before conference play begins, had 13 of the 16 teams in the field of 68. So, that is remarkable, and it tells you what you're up against every week. As has been said, there will be, I think, 2 8 and 10 teams that make it to the NCAA tournament.
There are 2 players on Arkansas's roster, before we go back to the phones, that we had high expectations for. One of them is returning to Tennessee, where he played last year in Knoxville, Jonas Adu. We haven't really seen him hit the level of play he was at last year at Tennessee when he was an all-conference player. And the other one's Nelly. John L. Davis has not hit the level that he played at FAU when they went to the Final Four. Different roster, different setup, different offense, all these things. I still think for Arkansas to be what they can be, those 2 guys, are going to have to eventually get there.
This is the type team that is built such that you can gear them up for a postseason run. I'm not going to liken it necessarily totally to Ohio State in football, but some teams are built for the postseason. The good pro teams are built for the postseason. And I'm not as concerned right now about Nelly not being 100% as maybe some people are. Now, if we get to the middle of February or we get to the 1st of February, whatever, and nothing's happened, that's a different deal. But I want to see where this team is February 1st, where they are March 1st. Because, look, that's what it's all about.
Jimmy Dykes, best college basketball analyst on the planet, join us at 8. We'll talk more about
Except
it.
when he says the Razorbacks aren't going to win.
877-377-6963.
I love Jimmy.
JW in London. J-Dub.
Hey, good morning. Hey, even though I've got a London address, I am on the eastern outlaw section of Johnson County. And it's interesting that Eddie, who's in the heart of Johnson County, we have a little difference of opinion. I did not remember how much I despise Notre Dame until the last couple of days. Everything from those shiny gold helmets to that stupid mascot on the side, that is the most arrogant team in the whole and their whole
Bart.
fan base. That is the most
Because of the
arrogant-
helmets and the mascot?
No, it's because of the arrogance of the
of
fan
the
base.
arrogance.
It's arrogant. They think they invented football. They think that they are God's gift to football, which makes it even
Newt
worse.
Rockney.
But yeah, I mean, what the heck? But anyway, you said, there's not any good guys left to root for.
Well, who are they is what the question.
Well,
Are there any good
Well,
guys?
there is one team. There's only one team that I have anything at all in common with. They play good music there. They have good food. And I hate to say this.
State College, Pennsylvania.
I know where he's going.
I hate to say this.
Austin,
I
Texas.
am going to be rooting for Texas come hell or high water.
can see it
That's
coming.
how it is.
Yes. Bart-
They are our natural rivals in the SEC.
Bart's having a
Eventually,
conniption.
it will be back in the old days. And my dislike for Texas is different than my dislike for Notre Dame. Texas, I just dislike them because they're pretty arrogant too, and they think they invented a whole lot of stuff. But we can go down and beat them because we have a chance to. Notre Dame is independent. They're not even going to play anybody unless they want to play them. That doesn't seem right. But anyway,
They're
thank y'all
playing
for taking
Arkansas
my
next
call.
year.
Who are you?
Thank you for taking. Thank you for taking my call.
Hey, I appreciate it.
And have a happy New Year.
Hey, you too.
And a good rest of the playoffs.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you,
and you
JW.
got Bart all in a tizzy over here.
JW got nauseated.
Turn them up. Turn them up, Ever. Let's hear it. Here we go. Spotlight. You're on.
That's fine. Whatever. Like people, for whatever reason, people hate Notre Dame, and I've never understood the hate. I think it's partially due to the fact that because of the way things are set up, every Notre Dame game has been on NBC for as long as I can remember, mostly my entire life.
Could you be a little more condescending?
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Really?
Come on.
I mean,
How
I've
am I
never
being-
understood. How do you not understand? You obviously understand the hate for Texas. How do you not understand the hate for Notre Dame? It's the same thing.
I don't think it's the same thing at all.
Why not?
Well, how is it? How is it the same?
Well, the only difference is you're Catholic. Like in Texas is whatever. But like,
Let's bring some religion into this. Let's just break it down right now.
7:18. Back in a minute on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Everyone remembers the Florida A&M game, and later became known here in Pulaski County as Rattlergate.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
The final days of Chevy's Red Tag event have arrived at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Last chance for up to $16,000 total savings on new 2024 Silverados. Final days for up to $11,000 in total savings on new 2024 Suburbans and Tahoes at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 1/2/25.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge. Good morning, Smack Daddy. What's happening?
What's up, Bald Brotherhood?
There you go.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The big after Christmas sale is underway at Jelco Outdoors. Check out the huge savings under the porch and throughout the store. Save 50% off select work, hunting, and casual clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Sitlot, Drake, Browning, Pursuit Gear, and more. Hurry in while the selection is at its best. Don't miss the big Jelco Outdoors 50% off after Christmas sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Open New Year's Day, 10 till 5.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback, the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about? Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta, WW, Bookgram,
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Go Hogs.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You know, the family that listens to the Chuck and Bo Show together stays together. That's what you got to remember.
That's great.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bart's just losing it.
Oh, he's mad as hell.
He's so fired up.
Take it personal,
He's
man.
Like, oh
He's
my
taking
gosh,
it personally over there.
Bart's a Notre Dame fan. Where did that come from?
No, he's not a Notre Dame fan. He's like a
He
Notre
wears
Dame.
leprechaun socks.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
the luck of the Irish.
I mean, I have been my entire life. I mean,
It's kind of like the luck of the Irish.
Fight
I'm not
words,
Irish,
man.
so you figure it out.
I'm Irish
words.
Catholic. I
Yeah.
grew up watching Notre Dame games with my dad on television on NBC. Like that's where it comes from.
Right.
I've been a fan of them as long as I can remember.
Have you not felt the hate your entire life?
No, I mean I have for a large part of it.
And then they weren't very good, or at least not like they were.
They
so
weren't
the
very
hate-
good for most of my life.
The hate went away. Like, it became irrelevant. It's like the University of Miami, and it became irrelevant. And so you don't dislike them as much. But when I was growing up, it was like you root for your team, and then you root for anybody that's playing Notre Dame.
That's right.
Like that's
Same with
that's-
Texas, same with Ohio State,
yeah.
same with Penn State.
Right. Penn
Never
State
pulled for any of
maybe
them.
to the least degree is Penn State a hateable team left in the playoff if they're not your team. We have 4 teams though that other fan bases love to hate. And that's not true of everybody. Like you're casual. Like Washington last year, you're not like, "Oh my gosh. Get them out of here." You know what I mean? But this deal, Clemson, they're not even a team that people really root against. But these 4 teams, I mean, we have 4 national blue bloods.
Oh, it's the bluest of the blue in football.
Left in the college football playoff. And it's so challenging to figure out who you have the least disdain for. If you're just a casual observer, which most are, to what's left of the playoff.
I don't know what to do. I mean, I really don't.
You are having a bit of an identity crisis at the moment.
I've never pulled for any of these
Bart
teams.
doesn't understand how anybody could root for Texas above Notre Dame.
Or no, just root for Texas. Like how are you a Razorback fan and you're rooting for the University of Texas?
Because you hate the Big Ten.
And then
but
they're in
Texas,
the SEC
it's
now.
your biggest rival.
Yeah,
They're in
but
the SEC.
It's your big Alabama fans aren't rooting for Auburn under any circumstances, and vice versa.
Look, Arkansas and Texas have a long, bitter
if you want to be a
rivalry,
rival,
but it
then
was
be a rival,
dormant
damn
for a
it.
long time. Alabama and Auburn, that's been an annual thing since the beginning of time. I mean, Arkansas and Texas went dormant there for a little while.
We go to the gallery. Edward.
I agree with Bart on this. I don't know how you could root for Texas if you're a Razorback fan. I wasn't even.
I'm not
alive
saying I'm rooting for Texas
when we had a rivalry.
Well,
I'm just saying.
The last caller did.
I'm just saying I don't know who to root for.
I don't think a lot of people in Arkansas are rooting for Texas. But do you root conference? Are you trying to prove something? If you're the SEC, do you want an
Texas
SEC
really
team in the
isn't
game?
SEC yet.
But do you want to?
They've not proven that. I mean, they've not earned their medal yet in the SEC.
So
they've not.
We got no SEC teams left.
Well, I mean, you know.
What an embarrassment. Brent and Cersei, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Well, I want you to know, guys, good morning to all four of y'all, but I sat through every commercial y'all could possibly put on the Chuck and Bo Show. Likert Realty, I heard at least 5 times.
Brent, if you're just calling to gripe, we get enough of that at home.
No. I'm not calling to gripe, but I just want you to know that Ohio State is dominant in person as they were on the TV
They look,
screen.
they're like bonanza. Like they're so deep and so good at every position, and it's baffling that they didn't play like this at times throughout the season. But it's like they're on a mission, and they're playing loose and free and fast, and they are explosive on both sides of the ball.
Oh, tell me about it. They are fantastic to watch, and I do believe that Texas may meet their Waterloo next.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel got touched on every snap. I think he got touched on handoffs for Oregon, and they were 13-0.
But I've got a question for Bart. Can he name the Notre Dame starting quarterback before Steve Berline?
The one directly before Steve Berline?
Was it Ron Powless?
Yeah, like Joe Montana,
Take a shot in the
Joe
dark.
Theismann,
Who was
Ron
it, Brent?
Powless.
Who was it?
Blair Keel.
I remember Blair Keel briefly.
Little known fact.
Little known fact that he was also their starting punter.
Starting punter, played the tuba at halftime.
Yeah.
Probably
In the Fighting
so.
Irish Band.
But Chuck, nobody in national basketball and the college scene that I've listened to has given the Razorbacks any chance going into Thompson Bowling tomorrow afternoon at 12 o'clock against Little Bow Wow and his band of misfits. They forget Arkansas's got great players too. Let's don't forget about it. And the last time Calipari went into Thompson Bowling Arena, I believe he laid the smackdown on them. Isn't that correct?
He's had success there over the years. And look, Tennessee's undefeated, ranked number 1 in the country. Of course, most of the national people are going to pick them to win. But
what difference does that make?
well, it
this
doesn't.
time of year?
Well, that was the point I was going to make was it doesn't really matter what anybody says. And the reality is you got 18 games ahead of you, so the race is not going to be decided tomorrow. I just think my honest feeling on this basketball season in terms of the SEC slate is, man, let's sit back and enjoy it because we're about to see probably the best season of SEC basketball, top to bottom, that we've seen since we joined the league. And I'm looking forward to watching it.
Brent, thanks for the call. Brent's call brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company.
Holy cow,
First
man.
Security Paint,
That spotlight
Pasco
6
Air,
times.
Plumbing and Electric, the Fayetteville Auto Park, and Flight by Yingling. the next generation of light beer. I mean, sorry, but we had a lot of calls and we had things to say. And we'll get to more calls coming up. Brent, thanks for the call, though. Happy New Year to you. It's 7:29 on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think that having Brian, allowing him to call in occasionally, is a healthy reminder of why you don't like Texas. The holidays are all about making moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you find a gift as special as the people you love. From sparkling diamonds to classic watches and colorful gemstones, we have something for everyone on your list. Stop by Blakeman's and Rogers and let us help you make this holiday one to remember. Because at Blakeman's, it's more than jewelry. It's your story. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there and maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Don't miss out on Ruskin and Zach.
Brent, what can we do for you today?
Which one is Zach and which one's the other one?
Other one?
I'm watching them.
That depends on what you want.
Are you watching?
You're mad about.
Are you watching on TV?
Okay, ready? Wave.
Derek's the one waving.
No, that's.
Weekdays from 2 to 7.
One of these days we'll figure all this out, but I don't know when that'll be.
Yeah, just start mashing buttons. What's this button do? What's this button do?
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, Todd Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Rachel's at Papa's right now. Rachel, what do you think?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You can check out their menu at papaspub.com. Cricket, how about you?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Come on by and see us at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
The big after Christmas sale is underway at Jelco Outdoors. Check out the huge savings under the porch and throughout the store. Save 50% off select work, hunting, and casual clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Sitlock, Drake, Browning, Pursuit Gear, and more. Hurry in while the selection is at its best. Don't miss the big Jelco Outdoors 50% off after Christmas sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Open New Year's Day, 10 till 5.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Come see Cody and the gang on Advanced Mechanical Performance. You can find them at 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Need repair or service for your ATV or UTV? Advanced Mechanical Performance can do it all, as well as taking care of all of your power sports parts accessory needs. Give them a call today at 434-4161. That's 434-4161. Or stop by 3201 Wheeler Avenue. Advanced Mechanical Performance. It's what you should be striving for.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Jam Mart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. Jam Mart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero Jam Mart locations. And stop by any of the 6 Jam Mart locations in the area. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I thought more about New Mexico in the last 2 or 3 months than I have in my entire life.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Morning, Chuck.
Good morning.
Patrick's in Stuttgart. Patrick, 735, Chuck and Bo Show. Glad you're here. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, so I just wanted to kind of weigh in on the game. I know I'm gonna come across as a homer, but I do think Arkansas can go in here and get this win. Kind of like you guys have just been talking about. Cal has a good record against Rick Barnes, especially in Tennessee. I think head-to-head since Barnes got in the SEC, he's got like a 1-game lead at 11 wins to 10 losses in head-to-head against Cal. If Arkansas wins this, it'll be 11 apiece. And so it's not like Cal hasn't had success and been able to win against Barnes in Tennessee. And then, some of the other things is, Ziegler got hurt last year against Arkansas. And coming back this year, he's having season lows in 3-point shooting and averaging 3 turnovers a game. And with the way that Arkansas's backcourt has been playing defensively, especially against good point guards, I think he's going to struggle. And if Arkansas can limit that 3-point shooter they brought in, and if he doesn't get too hot, I really think we can win this game.
Well, I think Arkansas can win the game. I mean, Tennessee's got an advantage playing at home, and personnel's got a lot to do with it, and you just talked about some of it. But Arkansas's got good personnel too, and I just think it's going to be – I think there's going to be a bunch of them tomorrow, and all January and February. There's just going to be a lot of great games.
Cal winning historically at Tennessee, whatever that record is maybe irrelevant, maybe it's not, but it's all about who you have on your roster at the time. And Rick Barnes has his best roster. I mean, he's done a great job building at Tennessee, and he's got his best roster. So those previous years were not this team that Rick Barnes has. And Cal's team, it may or may not be like some of the teams he's had. But this is, how about this? There'll be a lot of NBA players on the floor.
Well, and you've got 2 Hall of Fame coaches here, guys who have won at the highest level at multiple schools. And, that just makes for a great game. And that's the thing about the SEC now in basketball. They've had it for years and years in football. Some of the best coaches in the game in college football have always been in the SEC. It's that way in basketball now, too. I mean, there's multiple Hall of Famers leading SEC basketball programs now, and this is what we get.
Cecil's in Fort Smith. Cecil, good morning.
There's multiple. Good morning, fellas. Good morning.
Hey, turn that radio
down,
Cecil.
and we'll have.
That's all right, man.
I get it.
We appreciate you.
We do. No worries.
Buddy. It's like that at the shop too, everywhere. Man, I was really. Notre Dame. I saw them last night, and they were really, really good. I mean, when I was coming up back in the days, they were really good, and then they kind of fell off. But they got a pretty good coach, and it's down to the nitty-gritty. I mean, I still think the SEC will be the powerest conference in the land. I mean, for all sports, but this year is just not going to happen for us. So I'm really impressed with Ohio State. So when the Bucks hit the table, I'm betting my money on Ohio State to win.
I'll bet you're not alone.
Basketball, the SEC is loaded. Bo and Chuck, they loaded.
It's a lot of recognition, television-wise this year. It's going to be really, really good. And for as Texas, man, I don't think Texas is going to make it. But the thing about that is it's the SEC. And if you're looking at it money-wise, you have to ride with Texas because the money do go to the SEC. That's how I'm looking at it. But I think Ohio State's going to win the whole thing. I was wanting Georgia to win, but Georgia just couldn't do it. Those turnovers would kill it. They had a couple of turnovers and was really, really – and then it was a pass interference. It was a couple of calls they didn't call, and that's just the way it go. You can't change it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to hang up, and y'all have a blessed day, and I'm going to have a prosperous one, too, because God always blessing me every day.
Love it.
All right.
Love
Thank
it,
you, Cecil.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate that. And I'll say this about Notre Dame, and you've pointed out the backup quarterback situation for Georgia. I thought Notre Dame was exceptional in other areas, special teams, physicality. Like, I'll say Georgia's probably the standard of a physical football team for much of the year. They've been that. And for Notre Dame to match that and then really surpass it for many parts of the game, like especially up front on defense. And then just the coaching. That move that Marcus Freeman pulled off to kind of seal the game away, where they basically did a line shift and took 11 guys off the field, made Georgia run 11 guys on the field, and then got them to jump off sides. But here's what Notre Dame seems to have going for them above all else. Marcus Freeman is deflecting credit for this play in the post-game press conference, and his quarterback, Riley Leonard, steps in.
That's how I want this group to attack our preparation and attack performance when we have the opportunity.
Real quick, he's being humble. That was completely his play, and we were going to do it a different way, like 2 days ago. And then he flipped it, and we executed it that way, and it worked.
It's our
so
play.
He's being humble like all throughout the year. All right, yeah, you know this guy, but I'll say it for him. Great call, great execution.
You get a little insight there to the way the players feel about Marcus Freeman and how Marcus Freeman doesn't make it about him. And in today's world, players need to feel like it's not all about the coach. They need to feel that. Maybe they've always needed to feel that, but there was a time where it wasn't as important as it seems to be today. Players want to feel like they matter more than ever before. And every time I hear Marcus Freeman talk, it's about team, it's about everybody together, and you get a reflection. This guy's been on the team 1 year, not even a year. Riley Leonard, the transfer quarterback. And that's him in a press conference going, no. Our coach doesn't take enough credit. Let me tell you about him. I think that's as good a thing that Notre Dame could have going for him.
I agree. Here's the thing, and I've not figured this out. When you get beyond all that and you get to the play on the field, I don't know if these defenses are great or if these offenses are just average.
You were disappointed with Georgia.
I was disappointed with Georgia's offense, and I don't think Notre Dame's a juggernaut now. Riley Leonard threw for 90, rushed for 80.
Yeah.
I'm pretty pedestrian there. Hang on, Bart.
They're the fourth highest scoring team in college football this year.
I'm just
against who?
What I'm saying is I'm
against
not
the teams they
certain. I'm not certain if the defenses that are left are that great, or if they're just some mistake-prone offenses. Georgia's offense last night was inept. It was inept. I was stunned by how inept they were. It was created in the image of Mike Bobo. And I mean, it just was. I'm not saying Notre Dame's not great. I'm just saying that I've not decided yet for myself if there are great offenses out there. What are you laughing about?
Because he's pissed off.
I know.
No, well, I'm just like Georgia averaged 32 points a game this year, and so like you're just discrediting everything that they've done.
No. Now I will say, A, they had a backup quarterback, but
Sure.
B, Mike Bobo has been getting
I'm talking
hammered
about the
all
game
year
last night.
for
Yesterday.
his lack of creative schemes on offense.
Sure.
And that
I
only
understand
matters
that. I
when you
understand
play
that.
a really good defense.
Right, and
when
that's what
most
they
of the
did.
games against Georgia, or most of the teams Georgia's played, they can just physically line up and dominate
Right.
them
I
without
just-
being terribly creative.
Like Notre Dame's defensive front dominated the game.
They did.
Like Georgia's offensive line has been their calling card for years and years and years. Great offensive line, great defense, and Notre Dame dominated their
You're
offensive
right,
line.
Bart. Notre Dame's the best team to ever come down the pike.
That's not what I'm saying.
They're the greatest team
I'm
in the
just saying
history of
you
college
can't-
football.
You can't have it both ways. You can't act like they're like Georgia's defense is really good. That's why Notre Dame struggled on offense. Like it's not a reflection on how they've played all year or what their offense is capable of. I mean, they've been blowing teams out all year. I understand they haven't been playing an SEC schedule, but like,
this is great.
I just feel like we're just completely throwing everything away that happened this season, and only talk and discrediting.
Bart's
going to
take his victory lap come hell or high water.
Hey.
I don't blame you. I don't
tried
blame
to tell
you.
people for weeks on this show.
I
that
told
this
you
team-
people. I told you people this was going to happen.
You people, we're brought to you in part by Oaklawn Sports. Playoffs are here for college football, and the NFL is coming. Download the Oaklawn Sports app in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. Sign up today. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Don't forget, you can also wager on, along with the popular stuff, everything from the NHL to table tennis, darts, cricket.
World Championship final today of darts, apparently.
Is it televised?
I'm sure it is.
Darts
somewhere.
is a big deal across the pond, as they say.
Yeah.
It's on television. They have television
It's in
stars.
arenas.
Something we can all agree on.
They call them presenters over there, and I read a lot, and they call them presenters. And the
How many books are you reading?
The men and none, the
current events.
The men and women that are on television for these televised dart events are like huge stars, like our people that do the football and basketball games on network television.
Arkansas,
people like you.
Best sporting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. That's a little bit of a joke on Chuck's reading as we rolled out our New Year's resolutions, and some people talking about how many books they want to read this year. Chuck says that's boring. Nobody wants to hear your book report at dinner. They want to hear about current events. You got to be well read on current events across the board if you want to be smarter than the average guy at dinner. 746 words to live by from Chuck Barrett, as quoted by Bo Mattingly. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, first and foremost, congratulations on the official launch of the Chuck and Bo Show. I want to know, how did you guys decide which name went first, Chuck or Bo? Was that a flip of the coin?
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
The final days of Chevy's Red Tag event have arrived at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Last chance for up to $16,000 total savings on new 2024 Silverados. Final days for up to $11,000 in total savings on new 2024 Suburbans and Tahoes. At Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 1/2/25.
When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell.
At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I can assure you, no one organizing this trip thought, let's make sure Chuck's comfortable. I don't think that crossed their minds even for a moment.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did you guys get to see the Arizona State, Penn State Fiesta Bowl? I didn't get to watch much of that. I was trying to check it out in the media room, while getting ready at the Rose Bowl. But, Scattaboo is ridiculous.
You're talking about Arizona State, Texas.
What did I?
You said Penn State.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Texas.
Sorry, my bad.
He is,
I had the Fiesta Bowl mixed up.
He was the show.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the one that...
Everybody was looking at me.
Yeah, like, what?
I'm like, what? What did I say this time?
I was trying to figure out which game you were talking about.
Duvet, boudet?
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
One of these
moments?
I
was trying to process it.
It's been a heck of a run. I mean, I had us on December 2nd earlier in the day.
I thought, is he referencing like an old Fiesta Bowl? And, we got to click for a minute. But
well, anyhow, Scattaboo got the offensive MVP. He was amazing. He was on Dan Patrick's show yesterday and talked about throwing up on national television.
Yeah, I think I was drinking a little too much water and Powerade. At the same time, I think I ate something bad in the morning. I had a croissant breakfast sandwich, and I don't think it went down very well. And I wasn't feeling too good all the way leading up to the game until I threw up. I threw up.
You had new life.
I felt like a completely different person. It was nice. I looked down, took a deep breath, puked, took another deep breath. took another deep breath, and then got back on the field and, played my game of football. So.
That's
he rallied, man.
That's inside the college
He
football
rallied.
playoff right there.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, 42-yard touchdown pass, 143 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns, and 99 yards receiving. And as the loser of the game, still got the offensive MVP, and the bowl guy gave it to him in the press conference and basically apologized and said, well, this is what the media voted on, 7 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah.
Never done this before.
He was, he was great. Whether or not he should have won
He's so
offensive
fun to watch
MVP,
play.
I don't know.
So
But he's
fun
fun
to
to watch play. He really is. He's tough. He breaks tackles. Just when you think he's down, he finds a way to get 2 or 3 more yards.
11-2 Arkansas at Knoxville in Tennessee tomorrow. 13-0. The Vols, the number 1 team in the country.
High noon
on ESPN. Jimmy Dykes, ESPN college basketball analyst, will join us to break down the game and the SEC because the Hogs are about to start a gauntlet, as is everybody else in what is a loaded league.
The final days of Chevy's Red Tag event have arrived at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Last chance for up to $16,000 total savings on new 2024 Silverados. Final days for up to $11,000 in total savings on new 2024 Suburbans and Tahoes at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 1/2/25.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat Gnome Edge.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
Insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
Yeah, does Chuck sleep that much? Because it just sometimes.
He's old, so when you get old, you don't really sleep as much.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all. They do it from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our highs in the mid-40s north, low 50s south. We will see just a few passing clouds overhead tonight. No overnight low, upper 20s to low 30s. Partly to mostly cloudy sky on Saturday. Highs will be in the low to mid-40s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. My buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports stopped by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. How to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Dumps it underneath. Golden shot blocked by Brazil.
Oof. Oof.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta, WW, Book,
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I had a dream the other night that Chuck gave me a hug. I don't remember much else about it.
We need to unpack this.
And then you woke up.
I think it was like a sad moment, and Chuck came up and gave me a hug, and I immediately woke up because I know that ain't happening. I was like, what is happening here?
I would give you a hug in a trying
I've
moment.
never seen
in a trying or after a big win or a trying moment.
Big win.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
How about a little fist bump?
Fist bump.
Fist bumps are good.
All the way across the table.
How many hugs do you think you give a week?
Oh, it just kind of depends. I think their question, how many hugs do you initiate a week? I mean, sometimes you give the hug back.
Yeah.
But
how about Jimmy? Does Jimmy give bro hugs or does he do fist bumps on the regular?
I think I've both fist bumped and, done the traditional handshake with Jimmy. So
he's got a great heart, I'll tell you that.
Best there is.
Jimmy's with us. Jimmy Dykes, ESPN college basketball analyst, man of the people. He's calling the game on Saturday. Rick Barnes, John Calipari, and two great basketball teams going at it. And Jimmy's daughter will be cheering at the game on scholarship at Tennessee. Congratulations to her. Kennedy. Jimmy, proud dad first, broadcaster second. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I appreciate you mentioning that because I think when Kenny was a sophomore in high school and she transitioned out of gymnastics into cheer, she came in my office one day. She said, "Dad, my goal is to be cheering at a game one of these days that you're announcing." And I thought that was, as a dad, like what a cool thought and a cool moment. And yeah, tomorrow we get to do it. So
Is that the first time?
First time.
Yeah,
first
that's
time.
awesome.
We'll eat tomorrow. Yeah,
That's
history
great.
is being made. Yeah.
That's great. Well, I know
it won't impact how I call the game, but still, it's pretty
Right.
cool that she's going to be on one end line.
yeah, and you never hear that. I'm sure you, Kirk Herbstreit,
never,
anybody
no,
else,
never.
on Twitter about your biases for whatever team, for whatever reason. And I know, I mean, there's not
no doubt.
two more professional hard workers that try to just call it like they see it than you guys. But I know what you deal with. And I also know, like, you have a great relationship and have with Cal over the years. Same with Rick Barnes. I mean, guys that you would probably call friends, but certainly a professional relationship that you've had with these guys for a long time. I mean, what a matchup tomorrow of two great coaches.
I think they both over the years have called each other. I know they have in the off season and asked for advice on big decisions, on players, on recruiting, how to handle NIL, job changes. Like, they are that close, Cal and Coach Barnes. And I'm sure they haven't talked this week, but they will tomorrow and probably after the game. But just the storylines, Bo, around this game. It's, Coach Cal's first SEC game as the head hog. And Jonas Adu coming back to play against his former team. You've got one of the truly elite point guards in the country, Zakai Ziegler, an old, experienced warrior going up against one of the best, if not the best, freshman point guards in the country, in Boogie Flan. So, and just the implications of, can Arkansas go and get a road win in this league, which every one of them is going to be of great, great value. So there's a lot to look at within this game. Tomorrow, I guess it's noon Arkansas time on ESPN.
Jimmy, I think a lot of Razorback fans are probably, over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks, going to further familiarize themselves with a lot of these basketball teams. A lot of people have been paying attention to football. You look at Tennessee, they're 13-0. We think of Dalton Knecht from a year ago. He's gone. You mentioned Zakai Ziegler. He's back. What have you seen from Tennessee this year, and what's your take on the Volunteers right now?
Yeah, Chuck, they are 5 out of the last 7 years. Tennessee has finished as one of the top 6 defensive teams in the country. I believe they're second as of this morning. So how they look tomorrow defensively is going to look how they have looked the last 5 or 6 years under Coach Barnes. Like, they are no joke on the defensive end. You've got to work to score against those guys, and it will behoove Arkansas a lot to get out and score in transition before Tennessee gets that half-court defense set, because once they do, they are legitimately one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country in half-court defense. They don't have Dalton Knecht, but they got a kid named Chaz Lanier who averaged 20 points a game last year at North Florida. He's right up there at scoring-wise, shooting percentages, all that, about where Dalton Knecht was a year ago this time. So this kid has stepped in and filled that offensive spark that Tennessee has lacked some in the past before Dalton Knecht, and now this kid, Chaz Lanier, has stepped into that role. So they're a complete team. They're not without flaws. They have flaws. I'm going to watch film with them this morning. And I've been in film sessions before with a lot of coaches in the league, and those flaws will be pointed out very directly by Coach Barnes to his guys, but they are very good. They're old. They got a lot of size. The one thing about Tennessee is that their depth right now is a little bit of concern. They've already lost 2 key guys, J.P. Estrella, big 6'11" kid who really did a great job last year in the Elite Eight game going up against Zach Edey. He's out for the year, and then Cam Carr, a kid that they were counting on, just up and transferred at semester. So they're down to 9 scholarship guys, and not all 9 of those guys are healthy going into tomorrow. So that depth could be a factor. And same way for Arkansas. Neither team has great depth.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat for Tennessee that only 24% of their production is coming off the bench. And you mentioned that about Arkansas. Let's go to Arkansas for a second. What are you seeing develop there? And it just feels like, and Cal said this from really day one, this team's going to be a work in progress. It's going to take some time. We're building for, conference play and beyond, not just the regular season. And it certainly doesn't feel like Arkansas has hit that crescendo yet, but they've also got a lot of talent. They've had some big moments. They've put together some nice wins. And they've put themselves in the fire with competition. What have you seen from the development of this squad so far?
Yeah, Bo, I think they are tracking about probably where we realistically thought they should be. You bring in a complete new team, and they've battled injuries and new guys with new roles. I go back to the first practice this past summer. I remember Cal telling me that he said at the time that he thought his entire season was going to come down to how good Brazil, Adu, and Big Z perform, because that's their size. And two of those three guys are playing really well right now. Trevin Brazil is playing his best basketball as a Razorback, and you're starting to see what a healthy Jonas Adu can do as well. Although he battled sickness a little bit, but he's starting to come on to what we all saw last year at Tennessee. They've got to get Big Z going, and that's. I think he's had really good practices from talking to their staff. He just hasn't found his groove in games right now, but they're getting good play from those positions. And then, as always, they're Boogie Fland and DJ Wagner. Those guys are dynamic, man. They're dynamic in transition. And then, to me, Adu Thero is one of the toughest matchups in the SEC because he's big, he's physical, he drives it, he gets on the glass, he gets fouled, he just makes tough plays, and he's a legitimate three-point shot away from being a first-round pick. He might be one anyways, but if he could shoot that three-point shot, 33, 34%, man, would his stock go up. So it's two really good teams. It's two teams tomorrow, and you can say that about probably a handful of games in the league tomorrow. It's two teams tomorrow that are legitimate, Elite Eight, Final Four threats.
I was looking at Lenardi's latest bracketology. 13 of the teams in the SEC projected, to be in the NCAA tournament. We've talked about how good the league is going to be this year. I wonder, they play 18 games. Is 12 or 13 going to be enough to get a piece of the championship when it's over?
Yeah, I just think the winner of the league is probably going to have 5 losses. You start looking at those schedules and the road games that Auburn has to go to, and Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, all of them. Like, it's just going to be very difficult to not come out of there with 4 or 5 losses. Every game. I mean, I'm not so sure that winning the SEC regular season title this year won't be more difficult than winning the national championship. I say that because almost every game, especially on the road, is going to be a quad one opportunity. Most of your games are going to be against a ranked team for the most part. And the grind of having to do it for 8 or 9 weeks as opposed to 2 weekends and you get to the Final Four if you win 4 games, I think that SEC regular season title arguably is going to be every bit as hard to do as winning or getting to the Final Four. I would say that for sure. So it's historically good right now, the SEC. Like, you could argue it's as good of a non-conference that college basketball has ever had out of one league.
Jimmy Dykes, ESPN college basketball analyst. Jimmy, I can remember back, I don't know how long ago it's been now, maybe 15 years, when this league was like fighting to get 3 teams in the league. Or in the NCAA tournament? What changed? Like, how did this league become what it is?
Yeah, it started with Mike Slive really mandating the emphasis on basketball in the league with how they schedule. He put scheduling parameters around him and wanted to up that non-conference schedule. I think he made his point very clear when jobs started coming open that he wanted to hire the best out there, and he got that point across to college presidents and ADs and sold them on how important this sport is to our league. And then it's continuing with Greg Sankey and what they've done. But Bo, you look at it, the SEC had more guys on opening day rosters than any other league in the NBA this year. The coaching hires, they've knocked it out of the park for the most part, which is not easy to do. And look at the ACC; they have stumbled in some of their hires that have recently opened up, and the SEC has knocked it out of the park. So I think it's a combination of money, investment, facilities, hiring and retaining big-time coaches. I mean, Nate Oates could have gone to about anywhere he wanted in the offseason, and he chose to stay right there at Alabama. Same way with Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl has had a lot of opportunities. And think about that. Like 10 years ago, if we would have said that Alabama and Auburn, their head coaches, are going to turn down opportunities to go to UCLA, Indiana, you've been like, are you sure about this? But that's where the league has gotten to.
All right, I got to slide over into football real quick because you're not. I don't want to pigeonhole you into just a basketball analyst, Jimmy. Jimmy watches all sports, and he has a thought. And I just broadly, what have your thoughts been on the playoffs so far?
Yeah, it's those first round games were just they were on and we watched them, but there was no drama there. But now that we've gotten where we have now, man, these last games have had big time feels about them. We're down to 4 teams. I think I read this morning that the 4 remaining teams, none of them were their conference champion. Is that right?
That's
Correct.
right.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the 4 won their own league. So I think it speaks to the depth of college football now, the number of good, capable teams that can win a quote tournament, which I like. And the SEC got knocked around a little bit, and that's a change in the perspective nationally of how people now look at the SEC in football. Although we know how good it is, you got to perform. You got to perform in a tournament type situation, and the SEC's down to Texas, and a year ago it had been no teams in the SEC because Texas was still in the Big 12. Right. So it's great to watch. It's great for ratings. It was the tragedy, the absolute evil tragedy that took place in New Orleans to delay that game was, senseless, and I thought we did a good job of covering it and trying to keep football in perspective at the same time. So there's been a lot going on, a lot of storylines to follow those playoffs.
Yeah, that certainly has been, and we'll see how this plays out. We were laughing earlier, growing up, you were a fan of your team and anybody playing against Notre Dame, or Ohio State.
Sure.
These are all teams that if you're not a fan of these teams, you kind of root against them. So, who is the lesser of all of these bad guys? Texas,
no doubt.
Ohio State, Notre Dame, or Penn State.
Yeah,
it's so tough.
I'm not so sure Ohio State's not the best team.
Oh yeah,
because I watched the Ohio State-Tennessee game obviously very closely because I had a cheerleader sitting in the room with me watching it at the same time. She didn't get to travel because they just took the seniors. But it was the first time for me that I saw a Big Ten team that was just as fast or faster than an SEC team, and that to me was an eye-opening statement by the Big Ten, the athletes that they have, and on the Ohio State team. So, if you had to ask me who's going to win it, I would say the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I agree. Having just watched them at the Rose Bowl, they're just deep and fast. And I heard Urban Meyer make a comment that that's the deepest and most talented team he's seen in his career. And,
wow,
and that's saying something.
Statement.
He's had some teams.
That's a big statement. Yeah.
Jimmy, thanks so much. We'll enjoy watching you call the game tomorrow. Appreciate it.
Chuck, I'll see you at 6:15 according to the itinerary.
Yeah.
You going to be there tonight?
I'll look forward to it. See you then.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
You too.
Right.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
You're the best. Jimmy Dykes, ESPN. We got to hit a break. 8:18. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Rick's in Fayetteville. Rick, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's a privilege to talk with you guys, and I love the Razorbacks.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
The final days of Chevy's Red Tag event have arrived at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Last chance for up to $16,000 total savings on new 2024 Silverados. Final days for up to $11,000 in total savings on new 2024 Suburbans and Tahoes. At Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 1/2/25.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
For 5, 10, 15 seconds, stare it down and ask yourself, is this really a bracket that's going to determine the best team in college football?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you tired of the same old smelly gym? Then it's time to try something new. Let's hang out. The Hangout Fitness and Sports is the River Valley's only multi-sport family-friendly facility with a 24-hour gym and indoor courts for tennis and pickleball. With over 8,000 square feet for the gym alone, it's never overcrowded. The Hangout has certified trainers on staff with group personal training available. If HIIT, bar, yoga, or Pilates is your thing, they have that too. Join today and get January for free with a 3-month commitment. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Over the river and through the woods, to Salisaw we go. Mock Legal Solutions is opening a second location to serve our Eastern Oklahoma clients. 105 East Chickasaw. For divorce and custody, let us give you the Christmas gift of a new start. And for personal injury, we will get you a settlement check when Grandma gets run over by that reindeer. 918-238-2363. Or check out our website at mocklegalsolutions.com. Free intakes and payment plans available. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their ham-pattied burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Is it poinsettia or poinsettia? Which is it, Bart?
Well, it's poinsettia.
Is it?
Is it foliage?
Is it foliage? Foliage?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
So Nick Saban was on the Pat McAfee show, as he usually is, and he was talking about the playoff and how basically Oregon has gotten hosed here. And so let's take a step back real quick. Let's just evaluate. I asked Jimmy the question from just a broad perspective. What do you think of the playoff? We had our first 12-team playoff this year. Now we're down to 4 teams. 4 teams is what we've always had since we've had the playoff. So how have we liked and what have we not liked with the differences? Here's Nick Saban's thought.
If I was an Oregon fan, I have to say this because this kind of bothers me. You're the 13-0 number 1 seed, and you got to play Ohio State in the first round. I'm not an internet guy, but if I was an Oregon fan, I'd be on the internet screaming about that.
Would you be in your basement, your underwear too, doing it? Is that what you're doing? I know you love those internet people.
Yeah, living in my mother's basement.
All right, a little fun at the end. But he's got a great point with Oregon being the number 1 seed and drawing that tough of a team. And in their first game. But you're going to have to play a good team at some point, and you got to figure out a way to win the game. But what do we think about how this has all transpired, and what changes would you make?
Oh, I think you've got to reseed this thing.
That's the number one takeaway.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where it starts.
No buys for a conference champions just because you give the buys to the top 4 seeds.
My personal opinion is that you take if it's a 12-team playoff, you have the 12 best teams. And people say, well, they don't do it that way in the pros. Well, let's do it better than the pros. How about that?
Well, or like do it like the pros do it.
You know,
like you can't compare and contrast something that's not set up the same.
Well, there are times in the pros where you'll have a division winner who's seated higher in the tournament, so to speak, than a wild card that's everyone knows is the better team. But college football has got a unique opportunity to not have to do that. Seed them 1 through 12 or 1 through 8. My second thing would be to pare this thing down to 8, but they're not going to do that. So I think the seeding is the problem. Saban's right. The idea that a 13-0 team would have to play the best team in the tournament, or at least one that everyone knew going in was going to be one of the best 3 or 4 teams in the tournament. Penn State plays SMU and Boise State. Texas plays Clemson and Arizona State. Notre Dame's got to play Georgia. Who'd Notre Dame play in the first round?
Indiana,
11-1. Well, they got to play an in-state team. No, I think the seeding screwed up the bracket, and the bracket has screwed up the fairness of the playoff. Now, look, the objective of the playoff ultimately is to crown a national champion. We're going to get the best team in the tournament out of this thing. I think we may know who that is, but we're going to have the best team when this is all said and done.
Part of this issue, Clay just texted me, and I was thinking this as well, that Ohio State didn't have a great regular season, and they lost to Michigan, and so they put themselves in a higher seed situation, which means that's just a tough break for Oregon. Because if Ohio State had played, what to the level they're capable of, they would have been seeded differently.
There's some truth to that, but my real problem with the whole thing has been the seeding of Boise State and Arizona State. To me, that screwed up the entire tournament in terms of balance. I'm not saying it's been a bad tournament, and I'm not saying I won't be watching. Part of the objective was to get America talking, and my goodness, we're doing it. So,
did we get the best 4 teams?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. How do you know? It's subjective, I guess.
Well, Jimmy said it a minute ago. I mean, we kind of watched. I mean, we watched the first round, but there wasn't anything compelling there. Now, I'll go back to what I've said all along. 12's too many. 12's too many. It's inevitable if you have a 12-team playoff, you're going to have some snoozers in the first round.
It is, but would we have had better matchups if they had been seeded correctly?
Maybe so. I mean, to me, again, that's been the issue,
and that's fun, for entertaining games. I mean, how about the bowl season? Have you guys been entertained by the bowl season?
I have.
Did you? I mean, I was watching the Ole Miss game until it wasn't a game last night for a minute.
I fell asleep.
Michigan, Ohio State, or Michigan, Alabama.
I thought it was a good game.
Illinois, South Carolina.
That was a very entertaining game. I mean, I think there have been a lot of very entertaining games. And as we were discussing yesterday, I mean, the numbers are through the roof. 6-6 teams are playing 6-6 teams. Their own fan bases don't care, and then 4.5 million people watch it. So, I mean, obviously it's been a hit.
Bart's in the situation room.
Okay.
Hand in the air.
Since we're talking about it, these would have been the matchups if they would have just seeded it.
Okay, yeah.
Seeded the playoff field based on the rankings.
All right.
All right.
Pen to paper.
Yes. You would have had Indiana State, 8 seed Indiana State. Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. Fighting Larry Birds.
8 seed Indiana playing 9 seed Boise State.
Okay. See, I like that.
The winner taking on Oregon.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
5 seed Notre Dame, 12 seed Clemson.
Okay.
The winner taking on Penn State.
I can live with that.
6 seed Ohio State, 11 seed Arizona State. Winner taking on Texas. And then 7 seed Tennessee, 10 seed SMU. Winner taking on Georgia.
Okay. Well, I don't know how much it would have changed. There's a couple in there.
Well, the issue there to me is the fact that Texas had to play a game when teams that were not as good as them didn't. And as a result, they lost their right tackle and their center got hurt. And that had a profound effect and will continue to have a profound effect. Now, look, I have no sympathy for
the
Texas.
Longhorns.
No, I have no bleeding heart for the Longhorns. And I was underwhelmed watching them. And by the end of it, I was pulling for Arizona State because I thought if Texas is going to give this thing away, I'm going to root for the other guys to take it. So they got plenty of flaws. But again, for me, it's the seeding which screwed up the bracket.
877-377-6963 if you want to text or call. Is there a team left to root for? We have all these dislikable teams, these big dislikable brands, particularly Notre Dame, mainly because of Bart. But Notre Dame's been up there among the most disliked. But Arkansas fans would probably, we should put a poll. Who are you rooting least for? Who are you rooting against the most in the remainder of the college football playoff? Do we think Texas will win? Do we think Texas will win the poll?
Can you pull for Texas? Can you? I don't know.
No.
I don't think you can.
I don't.
Now, wait a second.
Now, you can go
Texas,
SEC if you want
Texas
and
is
say
lined
that.
up against Ohio State.
Go
I mean,
Bucks.
Really?
Go Bucks.
Really?
Oh, go Bucks.
See, I'm
I'm actually rooting for Ohio State because of
conflicted.
everything that happened to Ryan Day. I'm actually rooting for the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate that their
You're gonna
fans
start
are going to get to
dyeing your
enjoy
beard?
it.
You're going to dye your beard like Ryan Day. You're going to dye pitch black.
He's
like
well
Ryan
put
Day
together.
does.
He looks nice. Wears a nice red jacket and
Boy,
a
he
red
does,
tie.
man.
And
He
he looks
dresses
sharp.
red
Oh,
for
he looks
those
sharp.
games.
We're brought to you in part by Pascal. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. You know, they know everything's expensive. It seems like things have gotten even more expensive as we head into 2025, and they're here to help out. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging HVAC system, or upgrading your electrical, Pascal pros are here to help to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions may apply.
I'm sorry. I was just reading JT say that. He says, Texas versus Ohio State. Is it wrong to root for an earthquake? Wow. Yeah, it's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong.
Yeah. 8:31, but we get the feeling on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning. It's good to hear you back on the radio, man. I miss you in the afternoons, and you guys seem to be gelling right along. So it's good to hear both of you on morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnomcosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye. The two best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Want to let your voice be heard?
Y'all get me going to work every morning, so I appreciate what you guys do.
Send us a voicemail on the Hit That Line app and speak your truth.
Cheering for the other SEC schools is like cheering for the devil because he's in the Bible.
I mean, I would need a six-pack and a catheter.
Leave us a message for ESPN Arkansas after every Razorback game with our Hit That Line Now app.
You guys are the best. I totally disagree.
Man, hey, them hoes can't do no wrong, fella.
ESPN Arkansas, more than just sports radio.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Looking to build your own field of dreams? Trust the experts at Tucker Construction and Remodeling. With over 30 years of experience, we turn blueprints into reality, ensuring top quality craftsmanship in every project. From homes to commercial spaces, our dedicated team makes your vision come to life. Choose Tucker Construction and Remodeling, where your dreams are built to last. Call us today at 650-6453 or visit tuckercr.com. My Tucker Construction, building your field of dreams.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert. And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea. It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays? Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke. Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Go Hogs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I spent the better part of Saturday decorating the tree. Me and my daughter, and she lasted 5 minutes, and went on upstairs, and I was down there going, what is? I was breaking into a sweat.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That reminds me, I got to get the tree down tomorrow. Yeah. Zach Gillum.
I bet you don't get a lot of help with that either.
No. Yeah, even less.
Yeah.
Zach Gillum, Oaklawn Sports, with us on the Chuck and Bo Show this morning. Oaklawn Sports, bet with the app you trust. Zach, good afternoon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Like I'm flipping time zones from West Coast to
you're a world
Central. I don't even know where I am now. Zach, how are you?
It's a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Doing great. How are you guys?
Doing great. Happy New Year. Arkansas opens tomorrow. I don't think we have a line for the game yet, but they open SEC play against the number one team in the country. I imagine you're going to see some action there.
Oh, yeah. No, very excited about that. Go on the road, number one, Tennessee. As you said, line not on the board quite yet, but check back later this afternoon. You'll see that post. There'll be quite a few offers available. I expect player props on that one, so should be a fun game.
We had Jimmy Dykes on earlier, and he said winning the regular season SEC conference championship in basketball this year might be more difficult than getting hot and running through the NCAA tournament and winning it all because of the gauntlet of teams. We've had odds to win the SEC and talked about those before. Has anything really shifted there now that we've got 13 games of non-conference play under our belt?
There's been some shift, not too much. Obviously, the biggest shift on Arkansas just as actions come in, but it's interesting Jimmy Dykes said that, because here at Oaklawn right now, Arkansas to win the SEC regular season is 20-1, And we also have them 20-1 to win the national championship. So the odds are actually the same for both of those markets. And I can't disagree with him. One, you get hot. Either one's going to be very difficult. And then for the Final Four right now, odds plus 1,000. So that's about 10-1 for Arkansas to make the Final Four.
Hey, when you transition, Zach, and this doesn't have anything to do with the game itself, I've just been curious. When you transition from football to basketball, what's the action like? I mean, what's the handle like? How does it change going from football to basketball, or does it change?
Yeah, it changes a bit just because it's a day-to-day game. So with football, you typically have a week to take in those bets. Basketball, it's going to be, maybe overnight, or it could just be the day of the game where the odds actually post. So there's going to be less handle typically per game, but there's also more games for basketball. So it about evens out in the end. You're going to have more per game in football, but both sports take in a fair good chunk, about equal to each other. And Razorback basketball obviously has had a lot of attention over the last 5 years or so, especially since we've launched Sportsbook.
I don't know if you have this in front of you, Zach, but Bart was giving me a stat, or giving us a stat during the break about the top 10 teams to win it all in college basketball this year. 5 of them are from the SEC. I think Arkansas is at maybe the bottom of the list. Who are the other? Because we keep talking about how deep this league is, but who are the top 4 or 5 teams in the league according to those numbers?
Yeah, so to win the national championship, I'll start there. Auburn is the overall favorite right now, ranked number 2. They are plus 700. Duke is plus 800, your second choice. Tennessee, who Arkansas opens up with this weekend, 10-1. Gonzaga is 11-1. Houston, 12-1. But you have Bama not far behind that. They are 15-1. Kentucky is 20-1. Florida, 25-1. You can scroll down. And like Ole Miss right now, who's ranked 24th, they're 70-1 to win it all. Texas A&M, who's ranked 13th, 80-1 to win it all. Oklahoma is 100-1 to win it all. They're ranked 12th. So that just tells you how deep the league is.
Wow, a lot of SEC teams that are thought of in terms of having the sustainability to go deep into March. Zach Gillum with us, Oaklawn Sports. All right, so playoff. What do we have? What are the odds for the semifinal games, a college football playoff?
Yeah, January 9th is going to be the first one. That's Thursday. Notre Dame, Penn State. Notre Dame Post is a 1.5-point favorite. That is where it remains. Total in that one at 46.5. And then Ohio State, Texas. This one caught some people off guard. This one posted a little bigger than they expected. Ohio State posted as a 6.5-point favorite. It's come down just a bit right now. It's Ohio State -6, total at 53.5.
Zach, we see odds, or I say odds, we see spreads vary, during the course of the week. You think we'll see movement on this? Like the Ohio State 6.5 is the one that I think, as you said, kind of gets everyone's attention. How do you think these things float over the next 6 or 7 days?
Yeah, I would not be shocked to see both of these lines, to me, feel pretty solid. Obviously, this early, we have not seen a lot of action come in yet, so it's hard to predict based on that. I feel like if there's no injury news, no big changes in the games, I feel like these lines are pretty good. Notre Dame, Penn State, around a pick 'em is right to me, and I think Ohio State just under a touchdown is the right line. I would not be shocked just based on how Ohio State's looked in their last few matchups if this game does get to a touchdown, while other people don't think so. Other people think it's going to go the other direction and maybe move towards Texas and Ohio State become a little less of a favorite. For that to really matter, though, it would have to be a significant move to get to that field goal number. So I feel like the way it was opened, they're more likely thinking it could get to that 7 number, but pretty safe that it's not going to get too low or not down to that field goal.
Zach Gillum, Oaklawn Sports. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you download the Oaklawn Sports app in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. Sign up today. Arkansas's best sporting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. Zach, again, Happy New Year. Enjoy the weekend. Looking forward to seeing that line later today on Arkansas and Tennessee tomorrow.
Yes, check it out. And don't miss those profit boosts that we have posted. You can get 10% boosted on those parlays. And NFL final week, won't go through a lot of the games, but that Vikings-Lions game, maybe one of the best regular season endings I've seen. Right now, Lions a field goal favorite in that one.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. That's a great point because so many of these games, you got starters sitting out. This game has everything on the line with two great teams that are playing well right now, Detroit and Minnesota. Zach, thanks again, and Happy New Year. 8:44, Chuck and Bo Show. We're due a break. Back in a minute.
Can we just say, for all of you who get up early in the morning and you work so hard, man, we're glad you're here. We just really appreciate all the work you do to make Arkansas better.
You talking to me?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The holidays are all about making moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you find a gift as special as the people you love. From sparkling diamonds to classic watches and colorful gemstones, we have something for everyone on your list. Stop by Blakeman's and Rogers and let us help you make this holiday one to remember. Because at Blakeman's, it's more than jewelry. It's your story. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies, provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
Does the show feel like it's always a friendly environment? I was going to say, just
I guess it depends on which side of the fence you're on.
It's friendly. Sometimes you get yelled at, but I mean, it's still friendly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're just going to have to go today. You're just going to have to. Today is going to be
what I
maybe
told myself.
one of those days you're just going to have to go, and you'll be glad you did.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Brought to you in part by Flight by Yingling. Maybe you're enjoying the playoffs, NFL or college football, the Arkansas-Tennessee game tomorrow. You want a tasty refreshment? Try Flight by Yingling. It's not your average beer, and it's not your average light beer. It tastes like Yingling, and it's a light beer. 12 ounces of premium refreshment from America's oldest brewery. 2.6 grams of carbs, 95 calories, 4.2% ABV. It's a premium refreshment. 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise a Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. By the way, Kim Mulkey and LSU in town last night to beat the Razorbacks soundly, but Izzy Higginbottom had 27 points to lead all scorers. In other news, Frank Ragnow, former intern of the old radio show.
That's right. Intern Frank
has been selected to the Pro Bowl for the 4th time. 4-time Pro Bowler Frank Ragnow. And
you too can be a Pro Bowler by just
being awesome.
Interning here,
That's
and
exactly
you can be a Pro
right.
Bowler.
Just by being awesome.
That's right.
Jalen Milroe and Jihad Campbell, Alabama players, he's a linebacker, have declared for the NFL draft. What's Alabama going to be like moving forward?
I don't know. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how Milroe's going to be an NFL quarterback. You guys see?
Same.
Did you see the story about him tipping the plays? By the
saw
way, he
that.
lined up where if his feet were staggered, it was a pass play, and if his feet were right beside each other, it was always a run.
Huh.
I mean, how does that happen
That's a great question.
at a place like that?
Yeah.
Pitchers do that in baseball all the time.
Yeah.
They tip-
Normally, there's someone
I've
on
never
your
seen that in
side,
football,
though, that is saying,
But
hey,
something
man,
that
you're
obvious?
tipping.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You're
saying.
tipping.
Yeah.
And I was surprised when – now, I've not gone back and watched the replay of the game to find out if that was entirely accurate.
I watched
have
every
you really?
snap.
You
Yeah.
went back and watched it play-by-play?
Yeah.
But,
sounds exhilarating.
I just I don't see an NFL quarterback when I watch Milroe play. Now, he's a great player. I'm not knocking that. I'm not disputing that. I don't know.
You know what's incredible?
I don't see him in the NFL.
What's
though.
incredible about that statement is how we can't get every NFL team to have a good quarterback.
Well, there's some
Like,
truth
you
to
know
that
what I mean?
too.
Like there just aren't great quarterbacks. There's just not many great quarterbacks.
They give
at
up
the
on
NFL
guys
level.
too soon. They draft them too young. They expect too much out of them before they're ready, and then they give up on them before they're even 25 years old. And some of the guys that are great pre-25 will be washouts post-25. But I just think in the NFL they cycle through these guys too quickly, and they don't give them chances to mature. Having said that, I don't think Milroe's an NFL quarterback. But I think that you look at a guy like Sam Darnold's success this year. You look at what Baker Mayfield's done since they turned 25, 26 years old. That stuff matters. I mean, you've got to be a grown man before you can succeed in a grown man's league. I believe that, and that's a grown man's league.
Those are good points. I think development at the NFL level comes down to organizational stability that seems to lack even at that level. You know, we talk about it in college, but I mean, even in the professional level, and it's like the same organizations that are either good at it or aren't. And by the way, Chuck's, firing off predictions, guarantees during the break. I don't know if they're on air, if he's willing to go on air.
I'm saying I alluded to this, if I was going to place a wager on one team.
I think you called it whimsical money.
Yeah. Well, if
Theoretical money.
Throwaway money. It'd be the Baltimore Ravens all day long. I don't think Kansas City's going to win the Super Bowl.
You don't even think they're going to be in it?
I think they've used up. Well, I think the Ravens are going to be the AFC champions. That's what I think is going to happen. I think the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. And if I was going to lay money, what'd you say? Plus 650?
Plus 650. Yeah.
If I was going to lay money on a team other than the Chiefs to win the whole thing, that's where my money would go.
Well, clearly you are going to if you were laying money.
Just because I've declared it as an inevitability. Doesn't mean I'm putting money on it.
Oakland
It
Sports.
just means I've declared that it's going to happen.
Bart, how are you doing on your playoff picks? By the way, while we're talking about declaring
you're talking about the locks?
Yeah. So far.
3-1 this past week.
Okay.
Yeah.
He picked the only one that matters, the Notre Dame score.
What was the one you lost?
Arizona State covered against Texas.
Yeah, they did. Dang near won the game.
Texas almost gave it away. Texas.
It was a comeback.
By the way, Texas leading our poll. Who are you rooting against the most in the college football playoff? Texas with 43% of the vote. Ohio State 27.
Wow.
Penn State 17.
Yeah.
Notre Dame 13.
I forget that we have some Ohio State hate from the Sugar Bowl and all that kind of stuff. Tattoo-gate. And we made them promise if they would
Jim
come back
Tressel.
next year and they wouldn't get out of being punished. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hogs play tomorrow.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to